We are going to visit Auschwitz, the Nazi concentration camp in southern Poland. The tickets to enter Auschwitz cost around $24 US, plus our transportation round trip from Krakow was about $8 US. When purchasing your tickets, you can choose what language you prefer. The tour is quite long, so we recommend you bring a lot of water and comfortable shoes. And without further ado, let's go! Welcome to Auschwitz, Part 1. I want to start by thanking all the people who are watching this video. More than 1.3 million Jews were deported to this camp during the Second World War, of which 1.1 million died. The Jews were deceived by the Nazis, thinking that their persecution would be ending upon arriving at Auschwitz. Initially, Auschwitz I was used as a prison for politicians, the brilliant minds of Poland, and prisoners of war. But later it would be the entrance to hell and the end of gypsies, homosexuals, and millions of Jews. They stripped them of all their belongings and tattooed them with a number that would be their next identification, and also dressed them in the striped uniform that we all know. Here, they were classified among women, children, and the elderly. The strongest people, typically men and adolescent boys, were destined for the management and logistics of the field and were called Sonderkommando. Pregnant women, children under 10 years of age, and the elderly were considered as people unfit to work and were sent directly to the gas chambers. The women who were spared from going to the gas chambers immediately were sent to Birkenau, whereas the men went to Auschwitz III to be used as cheap labor. They also carried out medical and scientific experiments that were mostly done on the children. Slave labor was used for the manufacturing of ammunition, synthetic rubber, and other products considered essential to the Germans during the Second World War, while the Sonderkommando, or special unit, were implemented for surveillance, the execution of punishments, cremation, and even death in the terrifying gas chambers. At the main entrance to the facility, there is a sign that reads in German, Arbeit macht frei, which means work sets you free. Here, millions of people would enter a terrible concentration camp from which they would only be freed by their own death. The energy here is very sad. It's not the same as watching a movie or hearing a story about it. During our tour, we were able to observe several of the prisoners' belongings, such as glasses, prostheses, shoes, clothes, and suitcases that still had the names of their owners on them. It's a little difficult to process knowing that all of the owners of these belongings died here. We were also able to see mounds and mounds of hair in large piles that we were not able to photograph or video. Something very moving as well was seeing the belongings of the children who, according to our guide, when it was all over, were still playing in the concentration camp with each other. Here in Auschwitz I, you can see better facilities than we will see later in Birkenau, because this place was the administrative center, the place of the Sonderkommando and political prisoners, scientists, and all those who could contribute more than just a workforce. They ran the camp. It can be said that they were Jews forced to lead and persecute other Jews. For stronger and healthier workers who were not immediately sent to the gas chambers, the Nazis calculated the amount of calories that each one would receive daily, so that they slowly died of hunger in about 3 months. The Nazis knew that a new wave of workers would arrive every day to replace the other dying workers. A large percentage of prisoners died from malnutrition, and also a large number died from disease, since they had no access to any type of medical care. Many tried to escape and were hung in this square in front of everyone as a message of intimidation for the others. Commander Rudolph, better known as the Animal of Auschwitz, was responsible for more than 3 million murders during the Second World War. He was sentenced to death and hanged in these same gallows. Now we are preparing to enter the only gas chamber remaining from this concentration camp. All of the other gas chambers were destroyed, since the Nazis, feeling threatened, wanted to destroy all possible evidence of the atrocities that were practiced in this place. Zyklon B gas was introduced into this hole. To avoid panic, the prisoners were informed that they should take a shower and disinfect themselves before entering the camp. Once sealed, the doors released the gas and waited 25 minutes for the absence of any human activity. The crematorium ovens were also located here. On many occasions, these ovens were not of sufficient capacity, so they burned the bodies outdoors in open pits. Before this was performed, each body was carefully checked to extract everything that had value, such as gold or silver teeth, jewelry, money, etc. So this was our visit to Auschwitz I. We hope you liked the content. Next we are heading to Birkenau. For this we must take another bus. We invite you to watch the second part of our visit.